Hi everyone, I'm Catherine Evans and with me is Kim Peterson, and we're the writers of Creative Writing Energy, Tools to Access Your Higher Creative Mind. Hi Kim, how are you going?
Hi Kath, how are you? I'm good.
I'm good, thank you.
That's good.
Our creative writing, go on.
I was going to say, how's your week been?
It's been good, thanks.
Get much writing in?
I have actually, I've been writing by hand.
Oh, really?
Just to mix it up a bit, yeah. So I've written lots of pages, but I think when you do it in an exercise book, it doesn't amount to much.
Yeah, I find it's a good way to actually write by hand when you get a little bit stuck or something. You kind of can just, that's what I do.
It changes flow or something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How about you? How's your week been?
My week has been slow, actually. Not a whole lot of...
Writing-wise?
Yeah, everything-wise, I think. It's been one of those ways. It's been well, I'll get into that a bit later when we talk about our topic, but it's funny that you sent me that video because it's been one of those weeks for me where I've just kind of forced myself to take a step back with a lot of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, our creative writing prompt this week is: energy is available to you to pour into your writing. Don't squander your creative gold. Distill the emotion into your words. And our topic for today is: how do you process the world through your writing? And that came about because I watched a Lee Harris energy video, and he was talking about his energy, or the energy that he feels in the world, and how that affects people. And I sent it to Kim and said, hey, how do you find this? So how did you find Lee's video and the energy that you were just talking about?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting, the topics he was talking about, and really important, and it resonated with me in a lot of ways, you know, particularly kind of slowing down and giving yourself permission to do that, because I do struggle with that kind of thing. I kind of, you know, kind of got to feel like I've got to be doing something all the time, and then it might get to a point where it kind of feels like I'm trying to force things, and then I think he mentioned something about it all just sort of coming to a standstill. He said, well, maybe not words, but and that's how I was feeling, kind of a little bit frazzled, and what am I doing? Where am I going? You know, and I just, this week, yeah, I kind of had to give myself a bit of permission just to go, all right, just stop for now. You know, it kind of gets on top of me sometimes. I get a bit overwhelmed, and you feel like things aren't working. But you say a lot, Kath, you say about things sort of happening in the background. Yes. Before we get into that, we're going to do our cards, right? Kath's flashing. So, yeah, you want to do yours first this week?
Oh, okay. So I'm the Trust Your Vibes card, and the top card this week.
Make a note of it.
Make a note of it.
So, what does that mean?
I don't know. Maybe it's something about, you know, if things are bothering you or you can't get to things, you just jot it down and then it's done, isn't it? Or half done.
That kind of ties into this topic because we're talking about how, you know, things in the world and social issues or disasters or whatnot tie into our writing life. Yeah. All
I
right.
read the book, the guidebook
Oh,
that
yeah.
I never read, but this is the first little bit of it. You may be intercepting vibrations from your guides regularly, but having the confidence to trust your vibes fully may still be a challenge. Don't worry, trusting your vibes takes time.
Nice. Like it.
There's a lot more, but I won't read it all.
Yeah.
So pull your card.
For my cards, I'm using the Soul Journey ones that I've been using every week, and I've been playing around with them every day this week, and I'm digging them.
Nice.
So I've shuffled, and the first card is growth.
Oh.
Growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness.
Good.
What do you think?
Well, later in the guidebook, the make a note of it said to note down things that you hear or feel. So you start learning to trust your vibes better, and maybe that's ties in with growth. As you learn to do things, you grow.
Definitely. Alrighty.
All right. So, our world, processing the world and our writing.
What you got to say about that?
Well, one of the things that in the Lee Harris energy for this month, he was talking about like the world and disasters and crises happening everywhere and how we deal with that. Like sometimes, I don't know, sometimes everything kind of gets on top of you, and it might not just be you, it might be the political environment, or like here in Australia at the moment, there's heaps of bushfires, and we've only just come out of winter, but it's so dry. Like the bushfires are quite horrendous, and it's so, there's no water. It's really scary. And they're coming into towns and villages now because of the way the fires are working, or the way people are lighting them, or whatever horrible thing is happening. So those kind of things have a huge impact on a lot of people personally, like people up there, or you might be involved yourself. So I was wondering how stuff like that affects your writing.
Okay. Yeah, actually, my friend Blair, he's up there. He was evacuated yesterday.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, but he's back home now, so he said it's all right. But
they seem to have evacuated a lot of people last night on the Sunshine Coast, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I guess when it comes to like events outside of my personal kind of experiences with writing, I do get affected at times, and I will kind of use my feelings or emotions about a particular topic or subject and incorporate that in my writing. I have this like strong sense of fairness and justice, this sort of balance thing, and particularly when I was younger, I allowed those kind of like issues, discrimination and racism and human rights and all that kind of thing to affect me deeply. I wasn't a writer then though, but I used to get so upset, and animal rights. I can't stand any kind of cruelty like that. I don't understand why people want to be like that. I never have. But as I've sort of moved more through life, I tend to try not to allow that kind of thing to affect me too much greatly, unless I'm like extremely passionate about something, or because to me it's, I don't know, it really can throw me off balance if I give it too much power. Do you know what I mean?
So it's like a self-care thing.
Yeah,
You've got to care for yourself, so you can't
yeah,
bleed everywhere over every topic.
yeah. If you're taking on everything, then what have you got left for yourself? Kind of, you know.
Yeah.
But there's still subjects and topics that get to me, like, and might write about that more so in my blog lately. Like I wrote an article about abortion a few weeks back because that's something I feel passionate about, women's rights and that kind of thing.
It's been in the media at the moment all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I was thinking about this. I was thinking about, this. I'm a bit the same, like when I was younger, I used to really get involved in so many things, but I don't know. I think once I got sick with Ross River, I just didn't have the energy to fight fights, so I really closed down and just kept my energy for me.
Yeah.
But I was looking, like even on Twitter, and social media, sometimes I've had to stop following people who get really animated in their arguing and fighting, and
some people
because
put a lot of energy into it.
Yeah, and it drains you seeing it all the time or being involved in discussions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really get involved in social media outrage, and
it's really hard, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't like reading it.
But I have there are some clever writers, I think, who've used the energy of the moment to write books on those topics, and a lot of them have been really active on social media promoting, whatever's upset them. But and even if I stopped following them on social media, I did go and buy their books and read them.
Well,
so
I was just going to say, like, the power of the pen is very, it's a powerful tool, and used the right way, we can, a little bit make a difference in the world. And I know Bryce Courtney is quite mainstream, but he writes some powerful stories, shedding light on discrimination and inequality and, that kind of thing. I used to read his books long before I was a writer. I loved Jessica and the Potato Factory, and I don't know if you ever read them, but he really has some powerful messages, and I think that is a good thing if you can, for writers to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And also, writing in just free form, expressing yourself is good for self-care. Just even if you're journaling, I don't tend to journal. Do you?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
I have to get it out of my head.
Yeah, and how does that help you?
Oh, it's always helped me.
Yeah.
When I was going into year 11 and 12 for the end of high school, somebody told me to journal then and get all that, that teenage angst and the high school angst and all that out. And I just had an exercise book because I could hide it in with everything else. Like, it wasn't a proper diary. And, oh, man, I used to just write all this. When I look at it now, it's just so funny. But but it got me out of my head, got all that shit on a page. And
yeah.
I
can say I have always kind of done that, but not on a regular, in a journal kind of type environment, but even I have this girlfriend, Sharon, and we've been friends since year 8, and this is going to sound really weird, but we'd see each other every day at school, but then we'd write to each other at night, and this was before email and phones and social media. So we'd go home, we'd write out a little, I don't know, letter. I don't know, and I've still got them. I've got this big bag stuffed of her letters. And we did this for years, and it was just fun. Like, and we'd make each other little little things, and she made me this shell once, and this other little shell kind of fit in there, and she painted it, and the little shell that fit in there was her heart. Yeah. And then she you know, like, it was just beautiful little things. So that was sort of a form of expressing our affection for each other, you know.
Yeah.
And we were just friends, like, we weren't lovers or anything. but we
downloading the day.
Say what?
Downloading the day as well.
Yeah. I don't know. It was, you know, sometimes you can't verbally articulate your feelings. Well, I know I'm much better at articulating how I feel via words, like writing, you know, and even throughout, like, some of my relationships, particularly with my ex-husband, who was completely so hard to relate to, you know, and to have a conversation with when you and trying to express yourself with him. So because of his inability to be able to listen and process what I was telling him, I'd go write it out, and then I'd give him my writing, you know.
Yep. And that got your emotion out.
I don't know, maybe he thought about it for 5 seconds. I don't know. But yeah, it did definitely help me. Definitely helped me. And, you know, those were turbulent years between us. There was a lot of, you know, unhealthy kind of things going on in our relationship with the abuse. So, yeah, I would definitely write out how I felt. Didn't always give it to him, you know, or what he was doing or what was going on. But yeah, definitely it can help work through emotions. And I do that now, even, like,
in your book.
I write a lot more now about stuff I'm processing or trying to work out and trying to understand, and I'll go and write about it now. I don't publish it or put it on my blog, but just for me.
Oh, okay. So do your books have stuff in it? Like, does Millie Angels have things in it that you drew from the past?
Definitely. Oh my God, definitely. Millie's Angel was a whole lot of my past, you know, a whole lot of it. Yeah.
And the ones you write today?
Yeah, the ones I write today are different to Millie. Millie was like a purge for me, maybe because it was my first book, and I had a lot that I kind of wanted to draw on from past experience that I used. You know, there's a lot of dark and gritty themes in Millie, like abuse, alcoholism, rape, death. I don't know, but and you know, just sort of relationship dynamics, and abandonment. You know, I worked through a lot of that, and a lot of people, you know, that kind of knew my life story were like, "Oh, that's your story." I'm like, no. You know, it wasn't fully, but there was a lot of things I touched on from all those years of going through stuff, you know. But now, yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, bits and pieces go into my books now. Maybe just not as deep as Millie, I guess. How about you?
I think some of my books have stuff, but some don't.
What about your first book? Was your first book a purge as well?
No, well, my first book probably never saw the light of day, so yeah, no, yeah, to some degree, my first book was a bit of a purge, but yeah, probably not that much. Mostly the things that have never seen the light of day are the purges. They'll never, you know, I just write and get them.
Anything.
Yeah, personal, and yeah, sometimes it's hard to distance myself from whatever I'm trying to get on the page. So I don't want that stuff. That's the stuff that's going to get burnt before I die. Or smash the hard drive or something. Because that's the stuff I don't want anyone seeing. But there is, like, some of the books I've written have come about through, like, my thoughts on social stuff. Like Kate Elling's book Team Player. It's a male female story. So so it's a threesome, and it came about when the marriage plebiscite discussion started happening in Australia, and I started thinking about, it's set in a rugby league environment where there aren't any in the male rugby league elite players, there aren't any same-sex relationships, and I was thinking that, in those environments, people aren't free, regardless of what happened with the plebiscite. At the moment, they're not free to express themselves.
Yeah.
So, but then I was thinking too that even if we got a yes vote with the plebiscite, it only allowed for same-sex couples. What if there were, polyamory, people who were loved more than one person? There was no scope for anything more than just same-sex couples. Mm-hmm. So Team Player came about from all those thoughts that I couldn't really articulate, and really there wasn't any social discussion about those things. So Team Player was really my my expression of disappointment or anger or frustration at society's narrowness there.
Oh, I know.
So,
society doesn't really recognise how diverse people are, really. It's like strict with the boundaries, and this has got to be the right way, and that's wrong, and
you've got to fit this box. You can't go outside.
Yeah. I mean, we're so sort of complex. We're complex creatures. It's not just black and white.
Yeah.
I mean, even the subject of love and marriage and things, some people think that we're built to sort of marry one person and be with that person for the rest of their life, and that could be the case, but that's not always the case.
No.
You can love different
and we need
people.
them.
People come into your life at different times and as you grow,
Yeah.
And
it needs some fluidity. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We need fluidity in everything. I don't think we can, trap everyone into anything. Even the gender fluidity thing, I think, is amazing. If we can get to a society where we're not male or female, and a male and a female come together, like, God, if we can get past that, God, it'd be so exciting.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to happen in the near future, though.
Mm-hmm. And another one of the books I wrote was the Women's Aussie Rules one, the long game. And, like, as a kid, I was football mad, and I would have loved to have been able to play football. But, girls didn't play football. I didn't have any brothers, so I couldn't, tag along on their team or anything. So for me, watching women start to play at a professional level in AFL, soccer, rugby league is just, it's like, yes. So when I was asked to write that book, that was me purging all the years of, frustration of women not being able to play. Like, I took ages nailing what I wanted to say in that book because I had so many thoughts that I wanted to get out. Yeah, it was really important.
Yeah. I have to say I never wanted to play football. My brother played, and my dad, he's a real big footy fan, so he used to take us to watch the rugby league, and And I actually loved it. I love sitting in the crowd and, you know, getting a hot dog and and just being in that energy, because it's just so excitement, you know, excited, you know, just being in energy with the crowd. Like I don't mind crowds sometimes. But yeah, no, that was great. Seeing the footy, but I hated going as I had to go watch my brother every weekend and go to training. Oh, I hated it.
See, if I had to go and watch my brother, I probably would have been frustrated.
Yeah, I was frustrated, just in a different way.
Yeah.
Out of here.
Well, I was the girl who didn't really understand that whole gender thing, because I wanted to do, you know, all these things that only boys were allowed to do, which was completely and utterly frustrating. And I didn't have brothers, so I didn't actually, you know, it wasn't until I wanted to do something that I realised that girls couldn't do it. Yeah. So that really annoyed the crap out of me.
I mean, I did a lot of, I kicked around with my brother a lot. Like, I wasn't like a girly girl. You know, we built forts and we wrestled and we did lots of things together. Played cricket. I didn't mind playing cricket. Cricket was fun.
Cricket was about the only boy sport I was allowed to play. Yeah.
Well,
and hockey.
About sports now. Then,
I know. Yeah, I can sidetrack anything.
Oh no, we're good at that. But back to that Lee Harris video. He had a lot of good points in there. I really enjoyed it, and I loved even how he was talking about how being heart energy and using heart energy is relatively new to us as humans.
Because he was talking about the mind and heart disconnect, wasn't
kind of? Yeah, and people sort of more listening to your heart versus your mind. And
so people trust their thoughts more than their gut instinct or their heart.
Yeah, than how they're feeling. And I don't know, I really resonated with that. I like that because, you know, I think, you know, when you living from your heart, and I'm not just talking about like love. I mean, of course the love is there, but it's love for everything and everyone. But it's also, to me, when you're living from the heart, you're not judgmental, you're not as uptight, you're not as you're more willing to live on an authentic level. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's more a cruisy live and let live kind of thing.
Yeah. And that's how I live, really. Like I'm more of a heart person, and I've realized it's not a bad thing. Sometimes I think, you know, maybe it's a bit too, you know, whimsical or whatever, but it's not. It's living with a sense of, what am I looking for? Kat, help me out.
Truth, is it? Truth? Like,
yeah.
Like an honesty, a realness,
and tolerance. Yeah, I'm just looking at my notes because I wrote about it lately, and it's like a gateway to actually open your mind. Do you know? Yeah. Use the heart to open your mind.
You're not looking for a box to shove everything in. You're just opening everything up.
Yeah, and not being so quick to react in negative ways, or, you know. And I also think, you know, there's always these little fragments of time between, you know, even someone saying something or something happening to your reaction to it. You know, like if my kids say something to me that, you know, pisses me off or something, it's a lot of times I'll just, like, my first instinct reaction, if it makes me mad, I'll just bite my tongue, you know, and then just you know, sort of process it, and it happens within a matter of seconds. You know, it's kind of living from the heart. It's making the choice, because how you treat others, you know, it'll come back around, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm always telling my children, particularly the younger ones, because they're still, you know, at that age where they're learning about, you know, relationships, and well, we're always learning about relationships, but, you know, if, you know, at that age they're kind of like, no, you know, I'm not sharing that, or I don't want her to do that, and you know, I'll say to them, well, hey, I know that you have a really kind heart in there, you know, and it gets them every time. They're like, oh yeah, I do, you know. I am a nice person. And then they'll go in a good way, you know, and say, I love your heart. You're a lovely person. And it works every time, I'm telling you. So, yeah. And
it's linked to your heart, to intuition, isn't it?
Definitely.
Was that in that video? Was that something else I read?
He did talk about, the intuition.
Yeah.
And that is, and it links back to your heart resonance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you should trust that intuition that we get told all the time not to trust, not to listen to. You know, that gut instinct thing.
And, you know, like, and he said something like, you know, got to listen. If everyone listens and lived from the heart, we wouldn't have these issues. And it's so true. So true.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what gets me, is like, if everyone just got over themselves and stopped being so damn afraid of things, you know, life on this
wanting
world
to have it
wouldn't be so different.
Yeah.
Sounds
That's
easy.
selfish, isn't it?
Selfish, narcissistic people, and, you know.
Yeah. Those ones we don't write about in romance.
The assholes.
Well, they're the villains.
Yeah.
The
villains serve a purpose. All right, so how'd your heart go?
I don't know. Make a note.
Well, I think
we talked a lot about journaling and stuff, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You know, get your feelings out. It's a great way to work through issues and emotions, and find meaning with things, right? Meaning in the world, or whatever it is you're going through. I do it.
Get it out there. Use it. Use that energy as well. Isn't it, that emotional energy? If you can put that into something, it doesn't churn inside you so much.
I have to say though, one thing that actually really blocks me the most as a writer is emotional stuff, like personal emotional stuff. If I'm feeling heavy or hurt, or having trouble processing a situation that's affected me deeply, that definitely affects my ability to write. Not so much the journaling writing or whatever, but in my books and things, because it'll kind of zap my creativity in a way. You know,
yeah,
for sure. That
sometimes I'll write a really crappy. Sometimes I'll write a really crappy scene that may or may not even get in the book, just to get over that crappy feeling.
Yeah, and sometimes you've got to write through it. You've got to push yourself. I do that. Yeah, you push yourself, and just even if the words are just coming out in, you know, stagnated, but eventually, you know, it'll flow. or you might have a scene you can work with. No, fix up later.
That's it.
Alrighty, so anything else to add, darling?
No, I think that's it.
I guess, my card tied in.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a good card to tie in with this subject.
Yeah. How much you grow
How much you grow.
all the time.
Expansion. I want to expand my consciousness and awareness. Yeah. Okay, so
These cards are weird, eh?
the cards are weird.
Yeah, how every week we pull some random thing and then tie it in somehow.
I think it's cool. I like it.
I know. It's nifty. I have to stop my left brain thinking about it.
You know. Yeah. Oh, okay. You're thinking about it from a pragmatic point of view. How weird we are and strange.
Yeah. Yeah. That wrong side of me is going, oh my God, this is so freaky.
Oh God, I think that sometimes too. I'm like, what the hell are we doing? But we're doing it. So yeah,
have a good creative week.
we should mention our Patreon page. Do you want to do that?
Oh yeah, we should. We have a Patreon page where you could sponsor us if you like for as little as $1 a month, and it's patreon.com/creative writing energy.
Yep, and you can get bonus content too that we're doing over there for our little patrons. So that'd be great. And you can also find us at whisperinginkpress.com/creative writing energy.
And you can get weekly emails with our creativity prompts.
Yeah, it's your email turn this week.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Better write something.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go and do that now.
Yeah. All right. Well, happy writing to you, my friend.
And happy writing to everyone.
Catch you later.
And to you.
Yeah.
See ya.
Those blocks. Bye. Oh, hang on. Okay.